You are listening to Chaos Springs Eternal, a Delta Green actual play, brought to you by Quartermasters of the Tabletop. This is Season 1, City of Woe. Delta Green, by its nature, deals with violent themes and disturbing imagery, as well as horrors beyond our comprehension. Now, if you're one of those people who don't mind comprehending some horrors from time to time, I think you'll have a good time listening here. Join us, won't you? Hello and welcome back to Chaos Springs Eternals. This is Season 1, City of Woe. Noah, you're not going to say whoa?
Whoa!
Oh, there we go. That makes me feel better.
Okay.
Man.
Every episode's got to get more and more delayed.
Oh, man.
Until it's just, 45 minutes of silence.
Yeah, 15 minutes later, just middle of episode. Whoa!
Oh, man. Yeah. It was I was finishing the edits on episode 15 earlier today. I feel really good about this so far. Speaking of feeling good, we were talking a little bit earlier about favorite childhood TV shows, and thinking about there are some TV shows from my childhood that have been adapted into tabletop role-playing games. We've played some Power Rangers, but I was thinking what are some other TV shows from your childhood that you wish had a tabletop adaptation? Maybe they already do, including for example, Power Rangers. I don't know. Tyler, do you have any favorite TV show that you'd like to see adapted, or maybe already is?
Yeah, so the one I was gonna say was Ben 10, honestly.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very, very good series if you don't know what that is. It's about a kid who finds a alien watch that lets him turn into other aliens because it has DNA in it. I think that'd be really neat because there's a lot of weird spec opsy intergalactic story, especially towards the end of the original series, and I think going into its sequel that I never really ended up watching. But I think that'd be pretty neat, kind of a build your own alien. Instead of building a class, you say, my alien's super fast and good with technology or something like that.
So kind of like a Mutants and Mastermind style game?
A little bit. That's how I kind of pictured it. But then after I started thinking a little more, I was like, actually, you know what? I want a Digimon RPG. In that same vein, you build a character, then you build your companion.
I mean, isn't that just Pathfinder with playing the summoner class?
No, because they don't evolve the same, do they?
They do. You have evolution points, right?
Yeah, you have evolution points, but they're permanently
obviously
that way.
it's different. I don't know. Noah, what about you?
I mean, also, there was a part in Ben 10 where the aliens do get a weird upgrade for some reason. I don't remember what the plot reason was. I was in middle school, I think, around that time. Honestly, for me, I could easily see gargoyles being turned into
no joke.
system.
That was mine.
Oh my god!
What?
That's I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Gargoyles is a White Wolf style system.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, gargoyles.
Do y'all remember the Mighty Ducks cartoon?
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
That would be a really good one, too.
Hey, how wild was it that they were hey, we've got these Mighty Ducks movies, right? And they're all about these, kids who play hockey. We're gonna make a Mighty Ducks TV show. Oh, is it gonna be about kids who play hockey? No, absolutely not.
No, they're going to be about
Absolutely
weird
not.
mutant alien duck people.
I knew about the cartoon more than I knew about the Mighty Ducks show.
That
Or
hurts
movie.
me. That hurts me.
Yeah.
Also, my joke answer for this is Clone High. Clone High, the TTRPG.
Clone High. Interesting. What about you, Mark?
I had one that first popped into my head, and it's the Max.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That was a mini series on MTV when I was coming up.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've not watched it, but
It's a very good series. It's very interesting. It's about a superhero that may or may not be living in a delusion. And so he's got all this. It's a really great series. But the other one I thought of after I was well, maybe Max is too inside. But the one that I have very fond memories of, and we've talked about it before, but Bleach.
Oh.
I mean, I think of Bleach,
Yeah.
with the Zanpakutos and all that kind of stuff would be kind of a cool system to really
I feel I feel a lot of
into.
early 80, like 80s, 90s, early 2000s anime. It was a really good answer.
There's
Like
a lot of
Sailor
lot of
Moon?
stuff.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Like Ninja Scroll. There's some like cool shit that happens in that. There's a lot of cool things.
No, for me, like Gargoyles was my series first answer because just like, I mean, it's great, right? Like Gargoyles is just like aesthetically, it's such a fantastic show. But trying to think of another, like Sailor Moon, I think is one that is another like fantastic show with great aesthetics and the chance for like lots of fun sort of superpower things. But I was like, those are all sort of actiony. I want something where you can be like a little more charisma based, like role play, interaction, maybe do some like winning people over. Like so I was like, oh, who's like a really charismatic, like doesn't necessarily use like force to get what they want. Johnny Bravo.
Oh my god,
Johnny Bravo RPG.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is actually really good.
I think that would be a pretty interesting take on sort of the the less combat heavy systems.
Right.
I could see or just have Johnny Bravo but port him into Delta Green. That would be a nice.
Season 3 is
one.
born. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. This is all going in the back of my
Hey
brain.
there, little mama.
Hold
Looking
on.
at him.
Oh, you all have to. We have to talk like that the whole time. Yeah, that's good.
Oops, all Johnnies.
Oops, all Johnnies.
oh my god, is that a shark up over there?
Oh.
Hey, mama. Yeah, no. I think Cartoon Network did provide a lot of basis for like what eventually became my interest in all things nerdy and tabletop, right?
Yeah.
You start with like it's kind of like drugs. Like they start you on Dexter's Lab and Johnny Bravo and all those sorts of things, and then
And then you get into the Samurai Jacks and
yeah. And then
Samurai
you get
Jack the TTRPG would rule.
Oh,
that
my
wasn't one of the
gosh,
other options
actually,
I thought about.
Yes, and oh boy, you'd have options for settings. And
You would.
man.
You could have
I
the
mean,
future and like all the different like weird biomes. Hold on, guys. We can't leave this in here. This is money.
Hang on, TM.
TM,
Sorry,
TM.
Genndy Tarkovsky. We are trademarking the Samurai Jack role playing game.
The show's done. It's open, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty
that's
sure once you stop making a show, people can just do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's
That's how that works.
Disney
That's
didn't
what-
pay a ton of money 100 years ago to stop that.
that's what fair use means, right?
Yeah,
It's fair to use, yeah.
No one's using
fair
it.
to
It's
use
fair.
and make money off of. Easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyways, join our Patreon. No.
Our
The one that doesn't exist at the time of
Patreon,
recording.
so that we can buy Johnny Bravo.
So
We
that
We can buy the
illegally
rights to Johnny Bravo.
He did interact with Samurai Jack in some of the bumpers between shows on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
those were
The 90s were such a renaissance of cartoons.
They
I mean,
were.
really, yeah.
really. I mean, like
well,
mid
okay.
to late 90s. I mean, animated series, Batman, Ren and Stimpy. I mean, you can't beat it. Of like Animaniacs.
The Justice League.
I mean, and then all the
Yeah.
ones we've already talked about. They're just so fucking fantastic.
They really are. It's
Yeah.
just wild. Have you seen the original character ideas for the Animaniacs, like the illustrations?
No,
Yeah.
I have not.
I need everyone who's listening to this podcast go pause it and then go look at the original concept art for the Animaniacs. You're welcome. It's bizarre, and I'm so glad they didn't go with it.
It was the 90s, though, man.
It was the 90s.
Yeah,
The
we
90s did
wanted-
bring us a lot of like, I mean, oh man, I was just thinking like Street Sharks. You know?
Yeah.
Street
Double
Sharks,
Dragon.
the TTRPG.
Man, there's so
tons of
many
them.
good. Yeah.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
He is
would
our
be a
hero.
Fantastic TTRPG.
Right. I mean, there was lots. I mean, there was such cool stuff happening then.
Yeah.
Makes me nostalgic.
I think we've talked about before what happened, that changed the world, and everything has not been the same since. So,
I didn't realize that Bill Cosby had a cartoon in the 90s called Little
yes.
Yeah, I grew up on that. It was on Nick Jr.
Yeah.
So-
Maybe we-
So my girlfriend actually hit me with, for some reason I just never connected Bill Cosby to Little Bill, even though I remember him being credited in it now. And
Even though
and
he's
just
in the intro?
for some reason I just removed him in my mind retroactively from the show. And it's just my girlfriend had to be like, that's about Bill Cosby, right? And I had to be like, what?
What?
And she pulled up the intro. I was like, yeah, that's him right fucking there, you idiot.
Oh,
And I was
man.
like, oh my god.
As you're watching an episode of Fat Albert, you're
What?
partaking in all the Cosby offshoots.
No.
Oh man. Well, I know I do
No.
a lot of weird transitions, but last episode I also had to cut like a little bit of dialogue, and so one of my transitions was even crazier, but probably not as crazy as this one, where we go back and look at what happened last episode, because y'all were talking with Glomus. He had brought you into his laboratory, and gave you some information. You guys, he had dumped a lot of information on you, and you ultimately had decided that he seemed pretty much on the up and up.
Which is remarkable.
It is.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
We were like, oh, we'll trust this entity that came out of a tunnel
I mean,
that he created.
again, what else are you gonna do? Are you
Right.
gonna attack him?
Yeah.
Good.
You can do whatever you want, but
I'm going to cry. I'm going to fall into the fetal position and cry.
yeah, your downtime this episode's going to be pretty boring. He gave you some information. He also gave you this charm, this sort of like necklace that's like a gold disc with a bluish purple triangle. He gave you some information about what he thinks the ward might look like that is protecting the house. Y'all had mentioned that you wanted to go to the field where Antoine's body was found. We haven't really scheduled that. And then, in what was a very bizarre series of events, Detective Marr got Glomus to recreate Antoine's body as it was found when he found it. And y'all learned a little bit more about sort of how he was killed, including being cut and exsanguinated. Not by vampire, but he was also missing a spleen. Y'all talked a little bit about exorcism, and then he put you under the Geish. Geish?
Gauss.
And y'all, just again, y'all examined sort of the exorcism angle from a exorcism decision from a few different angles, including, tools that you might have, or bringing in other religious leaders. Apparently not Etienne Guidry, because no one likes him. And then finally, after a little pressing, he revealed why he wanted into the house, because that he needed to recast the ward that he had cast on Carrefour, because it was failing, because it had apparently come under attack. Basically, what I think this episode is, we've mostly covered, I think, everything that you're going to get from him, unless you guys have thought of any other questions that you want to get on this from Glomus. The plan is for this episode to mostly be sort of the downtime. In Delta Green, we typically split things into like missions and home scenes. Because we're structuring this a little bit differently, I'm not doing home scenes, because we don't have like missions, right? So it's going to be a little more freeform, which I think works out just narratively and probably mechanically.
Yeah.
That you'll be progressing a little bit slower than you would in like a Delta Green mission home scene. And in like the Delta Green things, typically your home scene, you don't do a lot. Like you just sort of say like, oh, I'm, repairing my bonds, or I'm gaining back sanity. And then you just do that. I'm giving this opportunity for a little more free play, role play. So while y'all are in the laboratory, is there anything else you guys want to cover from Glomus?
I don't think Joel has anything else in his mind. I mean, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he basically is like, so he's still in, looks like Antoine. He's fully clothed now. He had undressed as you search for puncture wounds. He says, well, now that you've been my guest, if you don't mind, I can lead you out another way, and y'all can abscond and do all the preparations that you need to hopefully exorcise this ghost and remove the ward from the house. If you would follow me. And he takes you up through some tunnels not back the way you went. He takes you through some tunnels, and it's again a little like weird up and down. Like the topography of this underground area is quite strange, and it's really hard to gauge how deep you are. But after maybe a couple hundred, 300 or 400 yards of walking, you eventually find like a little ladder that leads up, and as you push up through that, he pushes up, and it opens up to now probably like a late afternoon sun, maybe getting towards evening, and you are on the grounds of the Florazon Manor, and you are back near the cemetery. There are several gravestones around you.
Do we see any gravestones we recognize?
Yes, there's one that says Cyril Moss. No, but yeah, I mean, it's
like
mostly.
Is Colette here or Marguerite?
If you take some time to look around, you don't notice any. This is all Babineaus.
Okay.
And you guys know that Colette was hired help, so she was likely not a Babineau. And I think Noah and Marcy's searches, she had not run across Marguerite as a Babineau name.
Damn. Is Galomus, or I fucked up his name already. Wow. Is he still with us currently, or is he?
He's let you outside, and he's up top. And he sort of says, now if you ever need to make your way back to me, in case of emergency, you can come down this entrance. It's right at the northeastern edge of the cemetery grounds.
If we need to contact you, do you have any other means for us to do so, or is just coming out here?
This is the best way to contact me. I don't traffic in cell phones or any of that like.
Okay.
You understand most cell phones require like some sort of credit check, and I do not have credit.
Short, yeah. I know he's in the form of Antoine Babineau right now, still, currently. Mm-hmm. But how tall was he to begin with before he made the change? Like, how tall is he in his ghoul form?
So you never got like a full glimpse of his height because he had to stoop down into that room. But I think I said he's 8.5, maybe 9 foot tall. He never kind of stretched out.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, he's tall.
Okay.
And Detective Mars well, listen. I asked you earlier, if you still had the body or if it got incorporated. You didn't answer, but you to be fair, a lot's happened. Oh, well, yes, Detective. Well, I can produce the body for you if you need it. Is that necessary at this moment? No, I guess it's not necessary quite yet, but in the future, when I figure out what all is going to get reported, I think the body will be necessary. Oh, yes, Detective. At that time, just come please see me, and I will deliver the body to you. All right. And Detective Marr sort of nods at everybody and is like, I'm gonna go home and I'm going to sleep for a while. Actually, hey, I got a lot I gotta do. I gotta call off those other guys.
Oh God.
And then, yeah.
Good luck writing your reports.
I'll go make some calls. And he heads back. Makes the walk to his car. And later, we see him in his car on the phone, just nervously talking.
Yeah. Well, what is our plan here? Man, I could use some sleep. I know we all could. I slept last night in a hospital room chair.
Yeah, I think this is end of our second day. I got to get home. I got work in the morning.
Good luck, Joel.
Yeah, Joel's the only one with a job,
real job
that he has to go to.
a regular old 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think I'll hand wave sort of, unless there's something you guys have to talk about on the way home. I think Joel, you're taking one car, and then Marcy and Cyril are taking another, right?
Yep.
I have a quick question before we leave the gravestones.
Yeah.
Can I make a search for alertness? I don't know which one would be more prompt. I guess search in this instance.
Yeah.
I want to look them over. it's weird. This is where we came out of, and there's ghosts in there. Like, I want to see if there's like a name that's been, defaced or rubbed off through weather, or if there's even like an unmarked grave or something like that, which might be a little harder to find.
Yeah, go ahead, make a search roll.
No. 96 over 55.
Oh.
I uber failed that.
Yeah, I mean, there are like old gravestones and stuff, but like, I mean, your base search is a 55. That's pretty good. These are just, nothing looks unusual, and given that this is Louisiana, these are pretty well weathered, but that's what you'd expect,
Joel, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just giving it one more once over for the night.
I can see if I can dredge up some cleaning supplies so we can come out and try to, I don't know, go over these at some point. Just clean them off and see if we can make anything of them.
Yeah, what is going to be our next steps here? We going to try to... Did we figure out how we're going to try to exorcise these ghosts?
I can do some reading online. I have a library pass. I can also go to the library and go look up some books on exorcisms. Unless y'all have ties to the Catholic Church and know a priest who can do so. I'm laughing because this is just insane, and I don't know how to cope with it otherwise, y'all. I'm gonna be frank here. What do y'all got? I'm just gonna go research exorcisms online and see where it takes me.
So that thing that Glomus gave us, what does it do again? It breaks a seal?
Yeah, all he said was that it would break whatever ward was put on the house.
Okay, we just have to find the location of that?
Yes, and he said, it could look like a number of things, but would most likely look like one of the summoning circle type things.
Okay. So we can break the ward. Breaking on the house is not the same as getting rid of the ghosts.
Correct.
Okay,
in
so
fact,
we have to...
breaking the ward before you exercise would free the ghosts to do what they wanted.
Unfortunate.
Okay. All right, just checking, because I couldn't remember what order that was in. Well, I guess we need to figure out... Part of me thinks we need to figure out how this all fits together, and we need to figure out what the other entity is. Well, we got Marguerite, but do we know what the other entity is? I mean, we're assuming a lot, but I don't know if we know for sure.
We don't.
I'm confident it's Colette.
That sounds right.
Sounds reasonable.
So maybe we gotta figure out what actually happened, set things right, kind of thing. Maybe that'll help, or at least break something loose.
Hopefully.
I can't remember. Did Joel tell them that she spoke to him?
Not explicitly, no.
Joel will break that information. She didn't give me her name, but I think Colette, at least that's what I'm going to call her until I'm proven wrong. She spoke with me. She gave me encouraging words, said that we're the ones that can do this, and that we know who she is.
What?
It was right after Salt.
I'm sorry, Joel. We'll get her back.
Marcy, could you just make me a raw intelligence roll?
You actually read online that there is no way to get back the human body after that happens to them. 10% under 85.
Good. Excellent.
Jesus, your intelligence is that fucking high?
Yeah.
I am omega brained.
I mean, 85% is like... I mean, that's really good. That's not like 85th percentile. That's like...
My other stats are all 12 and under.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got 3 12s and 2 11s, and then my intelligence. This is all I've got.
Noah really munchkined this character. No.
I just rolled super bad.
But so I think what occurs to Marcy as they're y'all are talking is that there is like, yeah, Colette, based off the journals you read, was Layla's sort of housekeeper / nanny type of situation. There is a Babineau you could ask about if they know any ideas, and you're supposed to meet with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Criminy. All right.
I'm glad Marcy figured it out before I had to say it.
Well, that's I gave it to Marcy because she is meeting with them tomorrow, and I think she's sort of thinking about what she needs to do to research that. that comes up as a very like actually natural and organic way to do it. So
I agree.
Unplanned on my end.
Amazing.
So
There's one other thing before we leave here. We had mentioned that we had a story about Colette being let go.
mm-hmm.
And then there was a reading how she wandered through the gardens and things she liked, and she went to her great-grandmother's grave. Who is her great-grandmother?
Layla's
It says
great-grandmother?
It says Marie B's grave.
Yes, that's Marie Babineau. She was...
And is that here?
It's close. It's not this one that you're... That's not like, you know, you
We're
didn't
not
come out of
focusing
a
on her
grave.
grave,
You
yeah.
came in between. And Marie's not one of the ones.
Okay.
I'd like to try to find that before we leave,
Okay.
if I could.
Yeah, I think you had made a search roll earlier on these. And with everyone looking, I think I'm just going to give it to you that you eventually find. Let me pull up a little bit of information. Oh, my notes app just froze. Oh, there we go. It's about to be like, oh, well, you find nothing.
Your shit. Yeah.
So Marie Babineau, she was wife of Henri, right? And so you find a little bit closer to the house, actually. You notice that some of these graves that have been dug, I mean, these are from like the probably 80s and 90s. And when you get closer, it gets older. It doesn't look like there's been anyone buried since like probably the late 80s, I would say. So as you get closer, you find Marie Babineau.
And is there anything like special about it, or is it just a gravestone, or is there like little trinkets left, or anything weird, like notable?
Funny you should ask. There is a single lily.
Oh, like a
white lily.
Like a white lily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like resting on top or growing out of it?
Do you pluck it?
So it is growing.
It is. It looks like it's growing.
Yeah, it's like standing up. It's not like laying across it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we pluck it. I don't know if that's the right move.
I think
That feels very much like...
I think that's the line.
Do you destroy the one thing this ghost likes? Sure.
We can definitely leave it, and like this is me talking outside of the game. We can use that shit against the ghost. We were
Yeah.
talking earlier about we need something to distract the ghost. That's fucking it.
Yeah, we can threaten that lily with some Roundup.
I'm gonna do
Wait,
you.
I-
I got a whole
why are you
gallon
guys
of
talking
Roundup
about-
here.
Why are you guys talking about the ghost with the lily?
Wasn't that?
Because
No,
that
it
was
was-
where... I don't know who...
So
That was Layla that always went to this grave.
circle gets a square.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think at times you may have conflated Layla and Marguerite, but
Ah,
you don't
yeah.
know
Maybe that's it.
who Marguerite is
Yeah,
or
that's our problem.
anything about her, really.
Got it. Okay. Well,
Whoops.
we tried.
That's fine.
We're making strong assumptions that she is an actual Babineau and not like
So we got to find out who Marguerite...
Died on the property. Unfortunate. Whoops.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, now that you found that grave with the single white lily growing out of it, what would you like to do? Actually, no, I'm just going to you all head back because I'm assuming there's nothing else that you want to do.
yeah, Joel's exhausted.
So let's. Tyler has more of a scene. I don't know if you guys have any ideas for like a scene for your downtime, but we're gonna go straight to Tyler's scene for this home stuff, and then once we finish up his, then I'll go to Noah and Mark, just in order because I imagine you guys are not like sticking together for this.
No.
So, yeah, Tyler, I don't know if you want to do like a more narrative reading or just sort of like describing what happens.
I can read it if you just want to play the role of Kian.
Sure thing, man. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping for. So after leaving the manor, Joel would stop at the local supermarket, mostly out of a selfish rumble that is starting in his stomach since he hasn't eaten anything today. He thinks about a frozen Salisbury steak meal, but his stomach turns over in on itself, only seeing the body of Antoine Babineau being poked around in by Detective Marr. Maybe a fresh salad is more his style tonight. And he can't forget Kian's oatmeal, or the bottle of tequila he tells himself that he needs. As he walks into his house, he just slumps down into the couch after grabbing the half-empty bottle of Caesar dressing that he keeps in the fridge and putting way too much over the top of a pre-made meal. He's not usually this quiet, especially after such a long investigation.
Hey man, are you like okay?
As Kian turns the volume down on the rerun of an old cartoon that they watched from when they were kids. Not yet, he says, before just flicking the lid of off the top of the bottle of the cheap booze from a brand that he doesn't even recognize. He takes a large gulp, washing down the half-wilted lettuce and over-ripened slices of tomato and radish inside of the small plastic container.
Do you need to talk about it? My therapist says that talking things out can really help.
No, I don't. I really don't, Kian. He knows that he's trying to help, but fuck, how can he even help here? He can't tell his best friend anything that happened these last couple of days. He'd think he was just crazy, insane. He started to feel bad about how he turned down the attempt, and he's... Thanks, though, Kian. It's just been a hardcore day is all.
Thanks for grabbing my oatmeal.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. And Joel hands it to him. Kian nods as Joel takes another swig and shudders from the straight booze. He hands the bottle to Kian if he wants any, scarfs down the last bite of his meal. I think I'm just gonna get high, relax to some music, and just get some early shut-eye before we go to work tomorrow. And Joel just stands up, goes to his room, closes the door. His room is sparse, save for 3 guitars hanging on a wall next to posters of Paradise Rebels and photos and frames of his old bandmates and friends. Dirty clothes litter the floor. The trash can is starting to overflow with empty water bottles and fast food wrappers. He makes a note to empty that tomorrow as he sniffs a work shirt that he picks up off the ground to make sure that it's not too strong. On the dresser, next to his unmade bed, is a dock for his phone that charges with built-in speakers. He pulls out his phone, makes sure that his alarm is set just an extra 15 minutes earlier than usual so that he can make sure he gets a shower in for his daily commute. He opens his music player and presses the shuffle play button. An ad for some silly new fad plays, discussing some overpriced watch, pretending to be more than it really is, and how many great celebrities wear them every day. Joel just slides down the side of the dresser until he's on the floor, slams the back of his head onto the wooden drawer. His eyes closed, just trying to push past all this insane shit that he has and he will see. Instead, just trying to be here, in the now, as Kian and Ivy and Clementine tried to tell him. As a familiar opening solo bass line hits, he opens his eyes and just lets out a single low chuckle. In that moment, he notices something in his back pocket that usually isn't there, poking up at him, and he pulls out the amulet that Thing gave him to help remove the ward in the manor. He just lets it hang loosely in his hands, stares into it, the jewels, and then looking through them as his scream and the guitar kicks into the song, and Ivy's voice brings in the first chorus of Paradise Rebels, Neon Dreams. As verse 1 goes, "In the glow of neon signs, where the outcasts reside, that's where I find the charm, worn with pride. A rebel heart with my own schemes, living life, neon dreams. Rebels, neon dreams, breaking all their schemes. In the midnight haze, where's nothing as it seems. With a punk rock soul and a heart that gleams, I'm living life in a rebel's neon dream." Chorus ends, and Ivy and Joel's riffs take over as the hook hits. Joel snaps out of his 1,000-yard stare and reaches for his stash he hides under his bed in his old backpack from high school. He stows the amulet in an empty side pocket for safekeeping while he's asleep and at work, and he removes the old Altoids tin he keeps his good shit in. He takes off his jeans, removes his belt, takes off his shirt before sitting at the edge of his bed. Now, this isn't something Joel does often by any means. In fact, the last time was almost a month ago. But much like the tequila, he argued he needed this more than anything. In the tin was a single shooter of gin, another of the same bottle with the label removed, and a similarly nearly clear liquid inside of it. Joel would know this as morphine, and a small baggie of cocaine. He was almost out and would have to get more he would have to get more on his next paycheck. He thought as he reached for the empty glass next to his bed, just sitting on the floor, checks it, spits in it, cleans it out, using the blanket on his bed. He pours both liquids into it and a bit of the powder in the glass, and shoots it back all in one gulp as the second verse kicks in. Through the twisted streets I roam, where secrets like Paris catacombs. I find my power, my own regime, living life in this neon dream. Rebels' neon dream, breaking all their schemes. In the midnight haze, where nothing's as it seems. With punk rock soul and a heart that gleams, I'm living life in a rebel's neon dream. He sets the glass back down in his bed, stares at the wall, the chorus, and those two verses Ivy wrote bounce and echo in his head as the cocktail he made himself starts to tingle and burn his face and his throat, and his limbs begin to go numb. He thinks about how he's going to save his friends, more importantly, his sister.
Awesome. So I think I've mentioned that another thing that makes this version of Delta Green, our own little version of Delta Green that I'm doing a little different, is during this downtime, usually in Delta Green, your options for essentially your home scenes, you can do a handful of things to gain back sanity, like fulfill responsibilities, go back to nature, go to therapy, those sorts of things. And I like those in a lot of ways, but what I really like is Blades in the Dark, and their way of reducing stress, which is to indulge your vice. And so I've offered that to everyone. All the standard options are also available for you during downtime, but the other way that I'm offering for people to get back sanity is to indulge their vice. And so, all right, let's roll for that. So let me see, because when you go to therapy, you can get you can get up to 1d6 san back. So let's stick with that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say roll 1d6, and you can get it back.
1.
Oh man, well,
honestly, that's about how I was expecting that to go down. Joel is not dealing with this in a good way by any means. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know exactly how long you guys want to take before you go back to the manor. It may take a couple days of, research and that sort of stuff. So if you guys want to hit something twice, I'm fine with that. I also wanted to ask Tyler, what skills have you failed that you're going to be advancing?
Yeah, do you advance all the skills you failed, correct, or just a handful?
All of them. Yep.
Okay.
And we're adding 1d4.
You should be able to click a box.
I think
yes,
Roll20 just lets you click a box.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it auto roll or does it auto?
It is. I lost it. I'm sorry.
You should probably make a duplicate of it and then click the button and see what happens.
Probably. Should I do that? Wait, do I have to make the duplicate?
Yes.
Okay, hang on then. Where are the
just
characters?
in case something shits the bed, knowing VTTs and everything.
Yeah.
I had a bug happen recently where I was moving character sheets over to the party sheet in PF2E, and a character sheet just fully disappeared.
Okay.
I could still access the token and stuff, but just the sheet itself is just gone.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So, to answer your previous question, the skills that will advance are going to be Alertness, Dodge, Occult, Hument, and Search.
Excellent.
And it worked totally fine.
Perfect. Did like 1d4s to them?
Yep, did 1d4s to all of them. Let's see. I got 4s on a couple of them.
Nice.
I got a 4 on Alertness, got a 3 on Occult, got a 4 on Search.
Okay. And did you do that on your copy or your original?
I did on my original.
Okay, perfect. Then I will just delete this copy. All right, goodbye. All right, let's go, Mark. Mark, what do you want Joel to do during this downtime?
Hey,
I
Joel
think
already
you
did
need
his
to
thing.
do more cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, how much cocaine are you doing during this downtime? I know we talked a little bit about it, but I don't know if we talked about exactly, what sort of your ultimate aim with this was. It's kind of a long-term project.
Yes.
I guess do you do anything special Sunday night? You take Marcy home.
Take Marcy home. I think that, Cyril goes back to his place, his apartment / work, where he takes his photos for like graduations and things like that, his studio. And he goes back there, and I think that he starts to go through all the footage that he has taken over the day, and starts developing some photos.
Yeah.
So we find Cyril, and he is in his studio, in his dark room, doing the necessary things to like develop his pictures that he has taken. I think he's disappointed with the amount of stuff they've actually gotten. I know that he had one whole thing that got erased.
Yes.
But I think he's kind of not real happy with the things that have turned out, just because of the nature of the house, really. And so he's frustrated more and more with things as they develop, and he's just not happy about it. So I think that after he develops a few pictures and tries to get that all squared away, I think he would pass out.
Okay.
And wake up the next morning. And we had talked about some of the things that I was hoping to get done, and I don't know if the thing that I need to get is possible. So,
well, I'll say this: it is possible, but you will need to find a different way to get it.
Okay, so I guess I can just say it. Cyril would like to find a silencer for his gun, and I think that he would like to have the silencer because he's a little concerned that if we're going to be firing weapons or doing things like that, that we need to be calm about it. We can't just have gunshots randomly going off. So he wants to find a silencer suppressor for his gun so that it doesn't make a whole lot of noise here. But from when talking with Dan, apparently that's a 14-month wait in 2015.
Yeah, I had to double check with Tyler about this, because I was like, boy, that's, I'm willing to do a lot of, sort of reality bending, but that one is a little bit, I think, outside the possibility. But
the more I think about it, the more he wouldn't have one of those. I mean, he has access to guns. He's former military, things like that. He's probably got a small arm that he could put on, like a 9mm or something like that. But he doesn't have a silencer for sure. So he would like to get one of those. And I think he's doing a lot of research, much like I did this week, trying to find where to buy a silencer, if they're even legal in Louisiana at that time. I know that some states they're not legal in, or they weren't legal in, or they might be legal, or they're like a gray area. So I was doing a lot of research for that this week, but I would like to try to find a silencer.
Okay.
By any means necessary, really.
So here's what I would I'd offer as like a first off. Do you want to advance any skills right now? Do we want to do that? Do you want to do you want to try and get some sanity back, or is this is what you want to focus on?
I think that this is what I want to focus on. I think I'm okay for sanity right now. I think
what we'll call this then is more along the lines of stay on the case.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Because, or maybe actually, you know what? This might be personal motivation.
You know what? The other thing is that I think what we're going to do, personal motivation. And then I think that at the end here, we will have an indulging your vice.
Okay.
Yeah, to get some sanity back. I think that's reasonable. Is that reasonable?
That's reasonable to me.
Okay. So you want me to update my skills?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me which skills you failed, so that we know what you're getting some stuff in, and then.
So I failed alertness, criminology, heavy machinery, hument, occult, stealth, and search.
Fun.
So I got a 4 in alertness. I got
what was
the other one I said? Heavy machinery. I got a 3. The human a 3, search a 3, stealth a 3. I rolled a lot of 3s. It looks like.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So
can't complain.
Yeah, I can't complain too much on that one. Yeah, criminology was a 4. I got a 4 on criminology.
Oh,
So,
good. That will might come into play. So, tell you what, Monday morning, having done a little bit of research, you head on over to Magnolia Firearms, and the clerk working there is Elijah Carter. And as the bell rings, Elijah sees you, says, "Well, hey, how can we help you today?"
Hi there. I was looking to purchase a silencer for my weapon here.
Oh yeah, well, boy howdy, it's we got the wait list a mile long, and it'll take quite a time. Why don't you go ahead and start filling out this form? We got to get your fingerprints. It's a $200 fee, and for the tax stamp, and then of course paying the silencer. What caliber are you looking for?
Okay, this is where I need my gun people to actually tell me what I need.
I think
'Cause
you have
I have
9mm.
no idea.
I think you have
Yeah,
9
you probably have a
millimeter.
9mm or
Probably a
45.
9mm. Yeah, something. It needs to be small enough. It needs to be powerful enough to like do the job, if you know what I mean.
I mean,
and it needs
9mm is
not
going to
be-
cover.
I don't need like a
95%
Desert
of
Eagle.
your. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just a little note to remember: you don't have your gun.
No, but I have other guns.
That's true,
right?
Yeah. I'll give you that. You
Yeah.
did not lose all your guns. Yeah,
I didn't lose
think
all
odds
my
are
guns.
Ghost just steals
What is
all
this?
of them somehow.
odds are you at least have probably a couple 9mm.
The
pistols.
ghosts are anti-Second Amendment.
Yeah, it's just.
The ghoul just decided to get really in touch with you, and he decided to take every single gun you own just to really get a feel for you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
So-
Give me my sunglasses back, but not my fucking weapons.
Well, yeah. Hey, you guys never asked him about the guns.
I never did. No, I forgot.
Whoops.
Yeah, I
anyways,
imagine I have some sort of like 9mm that I'd like to get. I have a 9mm here. I just need to get a silencer for it. Like, how long of a wait are we talking here?
says, well, let's see. And he pulls up like a list, and he's like, well, not a ton of people have been looking for him, but let's see. We've got this guy who he's on month, 14. And
Jesus.
looks like that's the longest that anyone's been waiting so far. Everyone else
I
is.
don't know if I can wait that long. My ears can't take it down at the range anymore.
Well, we sell some Ear Pro if you are looking for that.
Yeah, no, I just would really like it to not have to deal with it. I got real sensitivities in my head and things like that. I just can't do those kind of things. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm just going. I mean, is there any other way that you can think of that I can get a silencer sooner? I mean, I'd really love to. I mean, I make it with your time.
He
you can think
he
of
looks at
another
you and
way.
he's like, "You understand? You're asking me to commit like a serious felony right now."
No, I just said if you know another way to get one, that's not a felony.
Yeah. Well, listen, bud. I mean, you can't do. I don't even know if they do. I've never facilitated a private sale of a silencer. I think you still have to pay the $200 tax fee, even if you're transferring from
fine.
person to person.
You
So-
can't
so-
transfer NFA items person to person.
That's what I thought. He's not a gun store clerk, unlike you. I mean, he is a gun store clerk.
He is a
I'm
gun
not,
store clerk. What do you mean?
I'm not a gun store clerk. Actually, do you want to just take over right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm having flashbacks, man.
Oh man.
No.
I'm pretty sure I had this exact same conversation before.
So
I shoot a hole in the floor.
yeah.
That also happened to me.
I tell you what. Having
I think I remember you sharing that story.
I remember you telling us that. He's a guy.
having said all that, we are in a role playing game. We have mechanics for a reason.
Yeah. I got a high persuade. Come on.
Give me a persuade.
Oh boy. Now it's
Or
gonna fail.
whatever you want to roll, you can roll on this. I mean, you could do criminology, you could do persuade, you could do.
I want to roll firearms and shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
I'd love to do just straight charisma because then it'd be over, but
Well,
I can't do that.
I'm not going to do that. It's going to be a little extra on that one.
Okay, let's see here what we got. Hopefully this is.
Oh
fail.
my god!
Isn't that about how it fucking rolls?
That feels.
boys?
That's how it feels.
Now I do want to point out you do have luck that you could spend.
Ooh, I do. Do I want
It's
to
only
spend
10.
10 luck?
It's
I will
10
spend
10
10
luck
luck
for a pass.
to get this
That's a
to where I
big
need it to
fucking
be.
10 luck right there,
That's-
baby.
that's
Yeah,
a
'cause I
big 10
really need and want the silencer. So
he looks side to side, and he kind of walks along the silencers, sort of taking you more towards the front of the store, kind of away from the back. And he's like, "Oh, you said 9mm?" And he's like pointing at these, and he goes, "Don't tell anyone I said this, but over at kind of a big wheel, they'll cut you just what you need. It's about a $500 fee."
Oh, okay.
And all very hush hush, but I didn't tell you that,
of course.
And I didn't see you today. All right.
I don't even know who you are, so I appreciate your time. And he packs up his shit and walks out. And he heads over to his friend Joel's work.
Joel, hungover and coming off of cocaine high, would be rolling everything at like a -20, I think. I think that's
Okay.
the penalty that happens when you do coke before you go to bed.
Okay.
No, you don't have to do anything in this scene, but Cyril, assuming that you go and again with your charisma and your background, you sweet talk some of the, because Joel, I don't think you work like the front desk.
He's just a manager.
Yeah.
So it's wherever he's needed.
Yeah, so you may not even see this happen. I don't know if you're aware that this auto shop even offers this service. You probably might know, but
I think he's made them, but he doesn't know what they are.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing.
So you unknowingly get this ordered. Hey, can you cut down this pipe and drill here and solder this, and you do all that and hand it to him. And then you don't see it. And Cyril, I assume you are $500 poorer as you.
I sure am.
Put the silencer on your person.
Awesome. Well, that was painless.
Sorry, I just saw Ting Ting. I just saw Tyler's note in Roll20 about the threaded barrel. He's gonna have a threaded barrel.
I've got to have a threaded barrel.
I mean, come on.
I wouldn't go through all this rigmarole without it.
He did serve in the military, and he knows what a suppressor is, right? Like,
yeah, no, it would be really funny if you did that, and then it's just like, hey man, how are you gonna mount that?
This is one of those like player knowledge versus character knowledge thing where it's like,
hey, I did my research this week. I knew I needed a threaded barrel. I was well aware of what I needed.
Yeah.
I also was just like I went on a deep dive. I'm sure I'm on some sort of list somewhere. So
okay, so you've acquired in Blades in the Dark terms, so it's just I've got it on the mind. You have acquired an asset.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to say. So tell me how you are indulging.
Okay. Well, I think he spends the day. He gets back to his studio. He puts the silencer in his. I think he's got like a case with all, like a safe with all his guns in them.
Yeah.
And he locks it in there, and then he kind of looks at himself, takes a shower, looks at himself in the mirror, and he goes, "Well, it's time to get back out there." And he goes and he puts on, he combs his hair. He does a little like styling to his hair, some pomade, and he puts on a really nice sport coat and a button-down shirt and slacks and just getting all the stuff, cufflinks. And I think he drives to like a local hotel bar, and he kind of walks in the place. It doesn't necessarily need to be in Carrefour. I don't know if it is in Carrefour, if they've got like a hotel that could, that would facilitate. I don't know if it's big enough to have a hotel, but he would go to like a hotel bar and just see who's in there. And I think that he waits there for a little while. He's sitting at the bar eating peanuts, talking to the bartender. He's drinking amaretto sour, and I think after a while, a woman comes downstairs and he starts chatting her up, and he goes, they talk. He's very, very charming, very enchanting, much more enchanting than me as a person. And I think eventually they end up in kind of, they end up in bed together up in her hotel room, because he does not have a hotel. He's not getting a room here. And think they end upstairs, and he has kind of brought a camera with him, and he says things like, Sha, I'd really love it if I could get some pictures of you. Maybe, we can share them together. Remember this night forever. And he just starts, chatting her up and starts taking pictures of her, pre-sex, post-sex, maybe during sex. And he kind of, when she is asleep, I think that he leaves and he heads back and he starts developing those photos immediately.
All right, so yeah, we'll stick with that with the indulging vice. So
You animal.
Yeah, let's get that 1d6 for you. Nice. Apparently, that was a very good.
That was a very good time.
It was a
him.
very good indulgement. 6.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, how much were you down sanity wise?
I was that I don't remember what my beginning number was. It's just your. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm at 78.
Okay,
I have a 78 sanity.
Man, that's solid.
Yeah. It says my maximum is 99, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's one of those character sheet issues that technically it can't be. Well, I guess it could be 99. Point is,
Yeah, it always says 99 for maximum, but if I remember right, sanity is
it's
your
it
POW
minus your
times
POW
5.
or POW times 5 minus your unnatural.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
If
good times.
that's the case, then I've lost 2 sanity points.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
plus 4 now.
I'm at net 0, baby.
Here we go. All right, I got to start throwing more stuff at you. And to round it out for this
Wait,
episode.
No, I can't math. I looked at the wrong one. Never mind. I'm at negative 10.
Okay, well, there we go.
I have a question because it's something I wanted to have Joel ask the group on Monday. He would message both Marcy and God, why am I blanking on your name?
Cyril?
Cyril, thank you. I don't know why my brain stopped working in that instance. He would message them both and say, hey, so I don't own a firearm. Does anyone have one they'd let me borrow / buy me? ? Another message. I can't pass a test. I can't pass a background check myself.
Oh. I'm sure Cyril. I'm sure Cyril has guns. I don't know how many he has. He doesn't. I don't think he has a. He's not like full assault rifle. Although I don't know. I think he's mostly handguns and rifles. So he would have a handgun that I think he could give to you to do what you needed to do with.
Sick.
It wouldn't be the one I was just, the threaded 9mm, but it would be a different one.
Yeah.
Maybe a smaller. He has a Kimber. He has a pink Kimber that he will give to you, and this will be the best.
So I'm
thing
writing
that's
down
ever
22
happened
revolver.
to you. I cannot wait for you to use this Kimber in combat.
I'm writing down 22 revolver.
Yeah, he might have an old piece like that. Something,
Yeah.
a revolver. That might be a good thing for you.
Yeah.
So we're actually, we're at time, and I know I said that we would do Marcy's downtime today, but I think it kind of makes sense to push that to next week,
Okay.
just based on
That's
how
fair, yeah.
everything's gone. And when I say next week, we're actually just going to take a little break and then come back and record the rest of it. But you guys will hear this next week, speaking to the audience. So, we're going to end. The one thing that I do want to cover right now before we end is, do y'all decide on when you are going back to the banner? Are you going to try and go back Monday night? Are you going to go back Tuesday night? Are you going to wait till next weekend? What sort of things are you thinking?
I would prefer Tuesday night because it's Sunday, right?
Yes, it's Sunday night into Monday
To
morning.
Monday day,
Yeah, we should go back Tuesday night, not
Okay.
Monday.
I think just as long as everyone's on that same page, and I think that's where we're gonna. Any objections?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Tyler is fine with it. Joel is not.
Okay.
Understandably so.
So imagine a furious group text of Joel saying, "Hey, does anyone have guns? We need to get back there tonight." Obviously, I think Joel being, wanting to urgently go makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he needs to go help his big sister.
Yeah,
but I think maybe Marcy talking him down, then Cyril.
Joel, we need time.
Well, Cyril's not going back there tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, he just was.
Cyril's otherwise occupied.
Preoccupied. Yeah.
Cyril does not even respond in the group chat.
Yeah, he just. Yeah.
So, we will find out what happened to Marcy on Monday next time, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in once again to Chaos Springs Eternal Season 1, City of Woe. This is a Delta Green actual play. Shout out to Arc Dream Publishing for making such a fun game. Make sure you check the links in the show notes for all of our socials. And be sure to rate and review us on iTunes, where you can then email us after you've done that with an NPC bio, and we can drop them into Carrefour and have them show up on the show. Also keep an eye out for our posts in the Reddit/r/Delta Green RPG subreddit. And thanks to everyone who upvotes us there. Thanks for all the feedback that we have been getting. We look forward to, and let us know any more feedback that you have. We're always open. And we got a good downtime next episode too, so stay tuned. Sorry, Tyler, what was that last one that you said?
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z across your face.
Oh boy.
My uncle tried
Dan,
to
I
make
need
the
you to
same
stop.
joke,
I'm
and
calling
it landed
HR.
just as well.
Oh, man. What are you talking about? That ended great, Noah. I'm laughing real hard over here.
Yeah, so was my uncle before my mom just told him to shut up.
Don't worry. I'm cutting that part out.
Now it's got to stay in.
It's got to stay in.
Maybe end of episode.